God. Oh shit, we're live.
Yep, we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to VRSpies Exposed, episode number 34 on this beautiful Sunday, October 9th, 2016. I am your host, VR Gamer Dude, and I am joined with my good friends, VR Gaming Evolve, UKRifter, and GameHard 4.0. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, we are just feeling it. We're just having a blast, guys. We're so psyched to be back, and I hope all the people that are watching are having a superb time as well. Huh.
Yeah, absolutely,
yes.
man. It's been too long. And we are super pumped to be back. Lots of awesome VR news happening this week with Oculus Connect 3 wrapping up, and yeah, as Greg eats his sandwich, that's great.
Pastrami.
That's good.
People gotta eat, right? People gotta eat.
So Oculus Connect 3. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that indeed. No, I was by the way, were you guys also watching live? I presume you were.
Yeah. I actually watched it live in the Next VR app in my Gear VR. So it was kind of a 360 kind of felt like you were there kind of experience, and it was really cool.
Right on. No, I mean, we have a lot to cover tonight, and we reckon we should try to keep the show in around an hour tonight. So we got a lot to cover. Absolutely.
Yeah. So absolutely. We'll be hitting it hard. So I think obviously for me, as most of you know, because I have been motion controller deprived, the biggest news was we have a launch date for the touch controllers, December 6th. So a little bit longer than I was hoping for. I was really hoping for a late October release, seeing that there's a lot of touch games that have been announced for around that October 18th to 28th timeframe. But, at least we have a date.
Yeah, absolutely. I am so excited. And the fact that we can finally start to pre-order our Oculus Touches now, starting tomorrow or in just a couple of hours, depends on how you look at it. But I'm just F5ing that like a madman, so I don't want to miss out.
When is the actual date that comes out on the pre-orders? I kind of missed that.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow on the 10th.
Wow.
The 10th.
Pre-orders go live at 12 p.m. Pacific on the 10th. Now, obviously, I think I know Chris and I both got our pre-orders in for the actual Oculus Rift. We should have, I know I did, and I think you said you did as well. We got the priority email that we're in the priority group for getting those shipped out. So that kind of gives us the ability not to have to sit there and hit F5 like madmen on pre-order day, because they're going to give us about a 10-day period in which we can order those and still retain our original place in line.
Yeah, this is
right.
correct.
Yeah. Okay. And is it going to be a bit of a mad rush again, a bit like the Oculus? Are we going to have to, get in there within the first 30 seconds, or you don't get it for 2 months, or is it going to be a bit more?
This is something we've been actually discussing, because the guy on stage, basically, when they announced it, they said they're going to start shipping it in bulks. So what does this actually mean?
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Probably the same strategies they've followed since the start. Say that they'll ship more, quicker, and do the same.
Yeah, so it's going to be probably first come, first serve, right?
Well, my understanding is that if you had that place in line from the Oculus pre-order, that that was going to assure you a place in the first batch. Now, is the first batch going to be December 6th? I mean, there's been a lot of speculation, and Oculus is kind of keeping tight-lipped on it. Is it that they all start shipping December 6th, or is the in bulk statement or in volume statement meaning that maybe they're going to ship those priority orders a little bit earlier?
To be honest, I honestly think that people have got their heads in the clouds if Oculus are going to change their way of shipping since they've done since the DK1. I think it'll be exactly the same. I could be wrong. They might surprise me, but they've done it 3 times.
Yeah, I don't think that they can mess this one up, though. I mean,
well, did they really see it as messing up, though? Because if they did, surely they wouldn't have done it 3 times.
Yeah, I know after the debacle that the Rift launch was, there were several interviews with like Jason Rubin and other people from inside the company that they've acknowledged that it was kind of a botched launch, and I know that they even went out and hired, I want to thank one of the big wigs over at Amazon to come in and be the person who heads up their global shipping efforts. So I'm really hoping that we don't see that, and this isn't as complicated as something like the Rift to produce. I mean, these are, they're obviously very advanced.
I mean, it's as complicated to ship as it was to get the shipment for the Rift, right?
I don't think Facebook.
Sorry, we got a little message from Greg though, when he says just, "Oh, ye a little faith, man," and I agree, man. Ye a little faith, Greg.
No, I don't know.
I'm looking at the trend it's been.
Hey,
there's no distribution network, right? There's no. It's not like Facebook all of a sudden has turned into Amazon. They still got the same resources available to them, right?
Same company. They're doing the same thing 3 times. I would really mind people going to get themselves so excited, because then it's just going to turn into a shitstorm on Reddit again for no reason, just because people have been blind to what's happened in the past with the blinkers on, thinking, hopefully,
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole bite me once, principle. But here's the thing. I think that they have got these staged. I think that they're ready to go. They're just waiting for that launch button. I mean, the problem with the Rift is that there was the mysterious component shortage, and then I really don't think that they knew the numbers. Now, here with Touch, they know how many Rifts are in the wild. So it's not like they don't have the capacity to look at a spreadsheet and go, okay, we need to produce this many to make sure that they get out to people on time.
This is a good point. Yeah. Point.
Mm-hmm.
I think so too. So what do we all think about the price though on the Oculus Touch coming in at $199?
I'm happy with it.
It's about right.
It's fair considering it comes with a camera, so you're less than $100 a controller. So.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the cost of a Steam replacement, like, if you look in the Steam store for the replacement controllers for the Vive Wands, I think those are coming out of what $149 to $169 per controller.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, the thing is, what is a tracker? 79?
Yeah, 79.
So take that away from the cost of the bundle, and you're looking at what about 65 a controller?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
roughly. Yeah, I mean, the price of a good Xbox One controller. I mean, you got those about $50. The Xbox One Elite is like about $80. So
there's a lot more technology crammed into the Oculus Touch. I mean, just on that subject, and I think you're trying to make this point as well, Greg. How much is the Vive controller in total?
Offhand,
75, isn't it? 75, 80 quid, I think.
I'll tell you in a minute. That's dearer than that when you add the shipping on it. The shipping takes it up to like 3 million.
3 million, yeah. No, that makes
something
like
that.
HTC. Well, that's something else that hasn't been covered is how much is the shipping going to be? I mean, we don't know how much the shipping's going to be.
This is true.
But regardless, I don't care if the shipping is going to be $1,000. I don't care. I'm going to get myself a pair of Oculus Touches. Even if I have to swim abroad a channel, I will get those damn Touches. I don't care.
you ain't holding Game Hard back from them Touches, man. There ain't
no.
So and Game Hard, buddy, I'm right there with you. I am so ready. I mean, I have literally done everything. I have tried to make these work, and it's just, I need motion controllers in my life.
You should have just went with the Racer Hydras, man. Come on.
No, I don't like the wire. I mean, at least with the controllers, they're still wireless, and I actually did get that project working pretty well. That's a completely different side note. Now, also on a side note, I just checked it. For those of you who may be watching us on YouTube, we're trying something a little bit different. I'm going to kind of go off of topic for a second. I am watching us on Facebook. We are live streaming VRSpies exposed to Facebook, and it looks beautiful. So
yeah, I think it's working. The audio seems to be coming through. There's a little glitch at the beginning, which I think was my fault, but I think it's all working now, so it looks good.
So if you don't want to grab us on YouTube, going forward, we're going to start doing this every couple of weeks, like we said on our forum post. You'll actually be able to watch us live on Facebook, and we are going to work on possibly pushing it out to other platforms as well. So But back to the good stuff. So the other thing, other than the Oculus Touch launch, is obviously they are going to sell the extra cameras now. So $80, and you can get that third camera that they say you need for room scale. I'll believe it when I see it, because we all know that Caleb has been able to do room scale pretty good with just the 2 cameras. So.
I believe this also because when I look at the solution of the HTC Vive with the lighthouse tracking, they only got 2 trackers on the opposite corners of the room, and I do believe that. And also, Oculus did state that with 2 camera setup, you will get at least 360 degrees room scale, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the answer to the HTC Vive controller question: how much are they? Per controller, $137.88 with shipping.
Oh, so for the pair.
That's interesting.
So 275 pound roughly for 2.
My Lord. I mean, that's like almost over 1/3 the cost of the headset.
Yeah, you might get a little bit of discount in the shipping if you buy 2. You might like a $5 or something, I don't know, but I mean, yeah, you're looking at like 270 quid pretty much for 2 of them shipped to you.
That's quite a pretty pricey thing.
Yeah. And talking about prices, we were all so excited, at least me, I was so excited when Oculus started to talk about, we really want to bring down the prices on our products. We want to make VR cheaper so that more can join, and I was super psyched. And the fact that they lowered their hardware specs, so now more people can join on. Join in the fun. Yeah, right.
Yeah, asynchronous space warp, man. It's like some freaking magic, like some wizard magic that these guys have cooked up in their SDK, and it is literally now lowered the minimum spec to run high quality VR to an i3 and a GTX 960.
Amazing.
So, I mean, I think that they CyberPower, they had a deal going with CyberPower, $499 to get you into a machine that can run VR.
That's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? I mean, that's one of the main criticisms of VR today, is that the accessibility and the barrier to entry from the price point. And so it's really nice that people will be able to afford to get in there. I'm actually really
well, you're looking at minimum spec with the Rift. What, 1,050?
Yeah, I think roughly.
Also, I just want to point out real quick, guys, for the guys who are watching now, Greg has actually managed to achieve the nano suit, so he sometimes goes into invisible mode, so that's why you're just seeing an empty chair.
Right. He's got cloak activated.
He's back. Yeah, cloak, and he's back.
He's doing us the courtesy today of muting before taking a piss, so that's great.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But
I think I was the only person out of this whole gang that didn't actually watch the whole Oculus Connect thing. I read the stuff. I know. I read the stuff afterwards, but I know you actually watched it, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think.
Oh yeah, I did watch it, and but I was screaming and kicking like a little girl and fainting half the time, so I missed half the show as well. Yeah,
exactly. Like I don't know. It was a long one.
Who's peaks?
What happened then?
What happened there?
Oh.
I was going to say I was actually watching it with Game Hard, but that's me done.
He was actually.
Yeah, I wanted to actually go and watch it in one of the social spaces. I really liked that from last year when everybody got together in Converge, I believe it was, and we all watched it there. But unfortunately, it happened once again during my work day. So, but it was really cool watching it in the Next VR app, and that kind of brings up another point that was kind of discussed over on the Oculus subreddit. It's kind of weird that they didn't enable that app for use in the actual Oculus Rift. The only way that you could watch it in VR was through the Gear VR.
This is true though. Should we also
complain?
Sorry.
No, I'm not going to complain. I've got a Gear VR.
There you go.
Complain anyway.
Okay, but no, but it was a really, really interesting way to be able to watch it. A lot of people have been there was a community outcry for that. It's like, hey, this is a VR conference. We want to watch it in VR.
I'm really excited about the standalone devices. I was looking at some of the reaction on the internet to that, and a lot of people are saying, "Yeah, what's the point? What's the point of that?" And there's so much point for me. For me, that's a really critical device that's been missing because I don't have an expensive phone like a Samsung S7, and it's just like it's not something I'm able to afford. So a standalone, I'm assuming, is going to be cheaper than a Gear VR plus Samsung S7, hopefully, and maybe a little bit cleverer too.
I think it'll depend on. I think it would depend on the technology inside of it. You know, I mean, you're still getting the high-end guts of like a cellular device. I mean, you know, it's still going to have that high-end, you know, Atom processor, things like that. But it really, the fact that they have put in so much work in computer vision to crack that markerless inside-out positional tracking is, I think, the thing that I'm most excited about, because that will spill over to a lot of other areas of VR. I mean, you know, who's to say that in the next couple of generations we're all uncut from the wire?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I think one of the main reasons for the standalone product is phone technology isn't really there to take you to 4K standalone headset, because you're going to be plugged into the charger like all the time to keep that screen running. You know what I mean? You see it with Sony's phone. They had a 4K phone. Did the 4K market because it sucks the life out of the battery and it's pretty much useless. So
are you guys talking about this this prototype headset now, or what's going on here? I zoned out for a second.
Yeah, kind of just talking about the prototype.
It's like an offshoot of that game hard. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of versus just where we're at with mobile VR today.
So what I'm saying is that standalone headset, you know, you can see the reasoning behind moving away from phones for a mobile headset, because yes, you might want to put a 4K screen in there or something like that, but you're not going to do that with a phone. So it's like taking Gear VR away from phones but still being a mobile headset.
Yeah, I agree.
It would give you far more potential of getting a 4K screen in it anyway.
Now, another thing. Oh, sorry, Don. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and just kind of closing that you know, about, you were talking about the battery life and stuff. The thing about the standalone headset is you could actually have a pretty sizable battery on a belt pack, and you know, just have that connected to your belt.
This is true. Another thing I was really psyched about. Now, I don't know how many Oculus users we have among us tonight, but I was so excited when they finally announced that things are going to happen with Oculus Home, the service we use to purchase games, and we have all our friends listed in there. And now they're finally going to enable something that they called Rooms. So you can invite up to 8 players or 8 friends, and they can come in your room and you can watch some TV, watch some movies, whatever, play some mini games. So I think this is about time that we can finally use this application for something sort of useful.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I thought it was really cool when they talked about it, and it kind of got briefly talked about at the end of the presentation, where, like, say all 4 of us wanted to go in and we could join a room, and then we wanted to say, hey, let's play some Blaze Rush, or let's play this, and it will actually launch all of us into the application simultaneously, no matter who's hosting the room. So I thought that was a really, really cool thing.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, it becomes a multiplayer social launcher, you know. So it's like a kind of like a lobby for all of us. Now, they've had something similar on Gear VR for about 6-7 months now, the Oculus Social, where you could invite up to 4 people into a room, and you could like share Twitch and Vimeo and, you know, things like that. But this is just like that on steroids. And I think that the Oculus avatars, that was pretty cool, that we'll be able to customize and custom create those avatars, and you know, you'll be able to go into the Oculus Rooms and go, oh hey, I know that guy, you know. I mean,
and also these avatars would work across different applications and platforms. I understood, wasn't this correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, no, that's huge. I mean, they've really needed to push that. And, you know, kind of staying on the announcements of the social stuff, what did you guys think about the Facebook social?
Always going to happen. Always going to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't faze me really. I know what Facebook is. I know what it's used for, and pretty much accept that. People that don't like it, don't like it. Accept that also.
Yeah,
I think all this stuff is really great. I mean, coming back to what Gamer said, I love the rooms thing. I love the idea you go in there, you've got your little floating head avatar, and from there you can decide what game you want to play. It's fantastic. Love it.
Mm-hmm. No, it was really neat to see, because there were a couple of sort of inbuilt mini games. So you were actually gathered around a little, virtual table, and they were all just playing tiny little mini games. And I think that this could be a lot of fun.
Oh, I really do. I mean, it's just yet another VR social touch point for us to all hang out in, and adding the mini games and adding the interaction between the avatars, I think that's crucial.
I totally agree, and also I thought it was, I don't know how much of an impact this is actually going to do in the overall VR industry, but when Oculus kind of announced these tiny little earbuds, so you can change out on your Rift, and I thought it was a little nifty though, and especially when they said these earbuds are compared to a $900 headset. I mean, I find that hard to believe.
Explain this to me. I don't know what that is. I completely missed that one.
Well, during the presetation, Oculus showed the new Oculus earbuds, and at a $49 price tag, that's not bad. So you basically just pop the earphones off your Rift, and then you pop these on, and then they have dangling earbuds. Now, what GameHard's alluding to is that they literally compared them to a $900 audio solution. And I don't know. I'm going to have to hear it to believe it. And I know Greg is like chomping at the bit to throw in his 2 cents on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen like $900 earbuds for professional sound people. And where was it? Tech Syndicate? They've got a video of these things. And I mean, for something like a $900 earbud, you go and get it fitted to your ear, and it's got hairs inside them like your ears have inside them. These things, they might be nice earphones, but making claims like that, it's a bit ludicrous.
Yeah, it is really.
Oh, and I'm really waiting for, and I know there's been a couple of posts out there on the various message boards this week. People are like, "Where's the reviews of it?" Everybody that went to Connect got a pair if they wanted them. So I'm waiting for somebody to start talking about these.
And surely this will come. I did actually, just before I jumped on the podcast, I watched a little, really quick unboxing of these tiny little earbuds, and wow, what a nice little box they came in, and the presentation overall was beautiful. And also, when they opened the box, you had different size of rubber things, so you can. It looks nice though. I think it's going to be cool.
Well, and the fact that they're integrated too. I mean, that's one thing I do love about my Rift is that the headphones are just on it. So you put it on, it's ready to go. The earbuds will just be dangling. You just put it on, just pop them in, and you're ready to go.
Absolutely. I think it's great, and also the fact that that they will also sort of, once you put them in your ear, they will block out all other sounds. So the immersion will probably be maybe slightly better. I don't know.
Maybe.
What were you wanting to say,
Greg? Seriously, Greg. Greg, you've got to talk about the most important thing of all.
What's that?
Your news, man.
Oh, snap, yeah.
Oh, yes.
This is like the most interesting thing you've got to talk about.
What's your new toy?
New toy. So for all those people listening to me saying that the headphones are not $900 quality, then thinking he's a Vive fanboy, stick it up your butt.
And you'll notice Greg did have the headphones removed from his, so. But yes, Greg has.
That's one thing I do like as well, Don. The integration, like you said, they're integrated, but you can remove them very easily if you want. So I like choices. It gives you choice. Yeah.
Exactly, because there are times that I want to use my nice headset, but I like them for the convenience. So, but it is nice to see you back in a Rift, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, absolutely, and welcome to the dark side. So this is your official welcome, Greg. And I'm sure you're gonna be pleased with it. Yeah. It's a great headset.
No, I am. For the games I play, it's definitely worth me doing.
Exactly. I mean, I know we played a little Elite the other night, and you know, I think what you were saying, you noticed a little more depth, and you know, things like that. So,
But not just in Elite. You notice more 3D depth in everything, and that's one thing that is a big plus for the Rift. The 3D is far greater than it is in the Vive, and I've played plenty of titles in the Vive, and I've played the same titles in the Rift, and I can say, hands down, the depth is greater in every single one of them in the Rift.
fantastic.
Good.
Also, I didn't. This is also a very.
For you, Greg.
Yeah, that shit. No. But seriously, though, guys, didn't Oculus also announce that they are pouring $200 million into VR investments now or something?
Facebook, yeah. Facebook is actually coming to the table with $250 million in development funds for developers out there. And then I think Oculus is putting in $10 million into a fund for diversity. So, like, you know, they're wanting to kind of diversify the platform, you know, bring in new developers. And I think that's great. I mean, that's just helping to build the ecosystem. You know,
yeah, but Don, at the end of the day, Valve and Steam are doing something very similar in that they're greenlighting every single VR title out there.
Yeah, and look at how.
I'm saying that in a
look.
way,
I know I was going to say, because I can hear the dripping sarcasm, because you know, look at the quality of all the titles that we're seeing come out of that.
Is top.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing I got to hand it to Oculus about is that they do have stringent quality control on most of the stuff that comes out. So, you know, I don't think we're going to see a lot of shovelware coming out of that fund. But one thing I wanted to kind of jump back for a minute, because I wanted to get this in before we stop talking about the headphones. I think it was also awesome that they have open sourced that connector. So they have open sourced the Oculus headphone connection, and they've open sourced the facial interface. So we're going to actually see a lot of third-party stuff coming out of that.
Yeah, facial interface is a big one. Someone make a decent one, please. A little bit closer to the lenses would be nice, and some nice foam on it.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to not put my contact lenses in to use the Rift, because my glasses don't fit in it. But you know, just the fact that they're kind of being open with those areas of the headset to allow the third parties to come in and make stuff for it, that to me speaks volumes.
Yeah, it's good news all round. And I've also I've got my nano suit on as well. I'm just off camera here.
Yeah,
just getting Jeffrey. I know this is very off topic. I lost Jeffrey for a couple of days. But he's back now. There he is.
Oh, it's the VR hamster.
Well, he's like the VRSpies mascot.
He's my mascot. Man. Oh yeah. He can be the VRSpies mascot, right? Yeah. But he's back. Anyway.
That's awesome.
You should 3D print a tiny little headset for him.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome, Greg.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm doing that. I think it might be some kind of abuse, but let's do it anyway.
Oh man, there we go.
What?
The locomotion thing instead of Omni's hamster balls.
Oh yeah, they actually had that. I saw it pitched on. I saw it pitched on Shark Tank. It's called the Virtuosphere. It's an older thing, and it's like a huge hamster ball that you go inside, and
You could have like a Virtuex Omni base type thing with rollers all inside it, and the ball goes on top. You get in and run.
Yeah,
that's the stream. We just patented this just now. This is legal disclaimer.
Regarding some of the rest of the Spies, America was hit by a horrible storm. So I think reality check is far gone, and Billy, we don't know what.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Let's just forget about him and move on with our lives.
He's been washed out to sea.
Hold on, I gotta share this real quick. So there you go, Greg.
Oh shit!
I told you it's called the Virtuosphere. They actually, I saw them pitch this on Shark Tank at one point.
That's like the thing that Michael Jackson used to sleep in, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Look, Jeffrey's got one too.
Yeah, Jeffrey's got a Virtuosphere.
This is so cool.
I know. He's really ahead of the times.
By the way, UKRifter, how is your sewing skills? Because people are definitely recommending you to make a little T-shirt for your hamster as well.
Oh yeah,
that would be awesome.
So I'm not standing far enough back, am I, to market my T-shirt, which is available now at a very reasonable price.
And it says, I like to party. And by party, I mean play in virtual reality. Only 5 easy payments of $29.99. This T-shirt can be yours.
I'm sorry. You got to love
envy of all your friends.
announcer voice, man. Your announcer voice is just top-notch. That is
Thank
just...
you.
Right? But I don't know. The next thing we need to do is just get Jeffrey developing something, and then he can collect on some of that Facebook money.
That sweet money. Yeah.
Now I'll tell you another thing that kind of I thought was interesting on that is Oculus and Epic coming together, and Oculus coming out and saying that they're going to cover the developer fees through the first $5 million in revenue on any game that's published. So
that is quite neat, actually.
It's just, once again, it's just a catalyst to get more people interested in development. I mean, I know that's what I've been doing the last couple of weeks is I've really started to kind of hit it hard and trying to learn, I'm kind of switching over from Unity to Unreal and trying to learn the Unreal Engine. But
I must say, though, I really feel like Oculus as a company now is doing a lot of right stuff, though, when it comes to thinking about the future. They're doing a lot of positive things, I would say.
Oh, dude, absolutely. The other thing, what did you guys think about the browser, the Carmel, and their push into web VR?
No, seen that, man.
I didn't see that either. God, I'm so behind on news.
That was during Nate Mitchell. He kind of came out and talked about that a little bit. Web VR is pretty much going to be a very accessible platform for web developers who are already, they already know how to develop web pages. So it's very easy to take that JavaScript and port it into web VR, and then we're going to have destinations on the web. They won't be as robust as, say, a standalone app, but you'll be able to just pop your headset on and see these websites in VR. And Oculus has a new browser that they're working on that fully supports WebVR, codenamed Carmel, right now.
That's great. That needs to happen.
Yeah, no,
I develop straight to web. I mean, that's going to be incredible.
Yeah, develop straight to web. So, I mean, I really think that that's once again just another touch point that's going to make it easy and more accessible for people to get into.
Don, that will become the metaverse. That's what they talk about, isn't it? When you talk about the metaverse, you're not talking about an individual platform like Steam or Oculus Home, or you're talking about a shared resource that lives on the internet. And so, effectively, this is the beginning of the metaverse.
I think it is. I'm
so happy to see that the people out there are actually agreeing with us. Harv is saying, Oculus are doing a lot more than Valve. They have been very disappointing so far. Reckon VR says Valve has little incentive to really do anything. They sell games to Vive and Rift. What do they care? Interesting.
That's the gist I've gotten of it. I mean, Valve is in it to sell games through Steam, and they don't really care what headset you have. They don't, obviously they back the Vive because they help create it, but at the end of the day, they're a software company, and they want to make money through Steam.
I'm also, this is a little sidetracking though, but I'm pretty sure some people out there might be interested in our opinion about PSVR. Have we covered this anything, or any opinions around that one?
We have a lot of opinions on this though, and they sort of vary hugely. If you don't mind me starting on this a little bit, I wrote an article recently just kind of talking very fondly about it because I feel that it's really great. It's opening up to the mass market. It's a way that people with PS4s can now get into VR at a reasonably cheap price point. I've got friends with PSVRs. They've got kids who are just dying to get into VR, and they'll be able to do that. But there is a big downside, and I'll switch to Greg for the downside.
You should also, could you, UKRifter, could you potentially leave a little link in the chat for that article you did?
Yeah, I can share it, no problem, if people are interested.
Yeah, of course.
Pretty much moving the cameras.
Yeah,
pretty much moving the cameras. I mean, I was watching...
that's the downside.
A few people over the past few days streaming PlayStation VR games because it's now in the hands of YouTubers. And I watched, I can't remember the name of the channel, but there's 4 guys and they streamed every single playable demo and the demo disc that comes with it. And the tracking on the Move was pretty much horrific.
Mhm.
The tracking was really bad on the Move from what I could see of their live stream. The tracking on the headset didn't look fantastic either. That dropped out quite a lot.
That's a
And the
worry.
touch just... I mean, I can understand why Sony have brought the touch to this, because it saves a lot of R&D. You know what I mean? It saves them a lot of cash in R&D. They've already got a motion control system. They put a VR headset together, and they can tack that on cheaply right at the beginning. No doubt they'll probably look to improve it in the future, but yeah, just so far what I've seen, I haven't tried it myself yet, but yeah, I wasn't all that impressed. But in saying that, how did you feel you got on with it at EGX, Chris? Did you get to use the Move, or
Yep.
were you just using the joypad?
Yeah, no, I didn't get to use the Move. I got to use a joypad, and I obviously played around with the tracking playing Windlands. You know, a few people have seen my video on this as well, so I won't harp on about it too much. But from my perspective, I thought the head tracking was very, very accurate. I didn't sense there was any drifting, but also I've read that the setups in these kind of games conferences tend to be ideal. You know, sort of very dark, with light coming from the front and all this kind of stuff. So it's actually a perfect setup for it not to drift. And when you get it in your own home with a bit of light coming through the window and a few other things that might affect it, it's not so great, is what I'm hearing. So, you know, I don't want to be bashing PSVR. I still think it's a fantastic solution. I just don't think they're set up anywhere near for room scale. I mean, that's just laughable. It's just not going to happen at all.
I think with PSVR, one thing that's got me intrigued is their launch titles. I mean, they do have some pretty solid games coming out.
Yeah, some nice looking stuff.
But at the same time,
Drive Club's a biggie, you know.
Yeah.
Drive Club is a biggie. Gran Turismo thingamabobber, Gran Turismo Sport, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that and Drive Club, they're pretty solid VR looking titles.
This is very true. I wouldn't mind trying at least that Drive Club or whatever it was called. That looked very beautiful, actually. Very nice.
I think the key point I got from EGX with the PSVR was that it was just a very solid headset, extremely comfortable, really well designed, really high quality device. The screen had no screen door because of the special Sony design screen where the pixels don't basically line up because of the arrangement. So no screen door, very, very sharp. Just, yeah, I mean, everything about it screamed high quality. But then we've got this question on tracking. So, you know, I still don't think it should put people off.
I think that
do I.
For me, the jury's going to remain out until I see a PSVR running on a PS Pro instead of a standard PS4.
Absolutely. And that is a big problem, right? Because people like me that might actually consider buying a PlayStation VR, we wouldn't buy a PlayStation 4 now. We'd wait for the Pro, right? So there's going to be this delay in launch, really, because people who want it but don't have a PS4, why the hell would you buy a PS4 now?
No, you wouldn't.
You know,
You
that's
wouldn't.
crazy.
And also, you know, talking about these tracking issues, I'm sure there's room for improvement. I'm sure Sony could, you know.
What I'm saying, Gamehard, they're using the Move because it's already available. It saves them money in the short term. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it gives them that little advantage where they don't need to spend so much to get this out.
I think you're absolutely right on that one as well. And we did touch a little bit about some amazing games, you know, for the launches on the PSVR, but also, you know, on the Oculus Touch team, they did, you know, at least announce, what was it, like 31, 32, 38 new Oculus Touch games?
No, absolutely. And, you know, I'm kind of winding out the cast here today. That's what I wanted to do, is I wanted to kind of go through some of the different games that I think we've talked about and we're excited about. I mean, I know Chris's favorite is obviously Super Hot because, you know, he was so happy when he got his Kickstarter and that didn't have VR.
I'm actually really looking forward to that, though. In all seriousness, it looks like a solid, solid title, right?
I must say, I kind of pissed my pants when I saw Robo Recall, and I instantly thought about the movie Chappie when I saw these fancy robots that's just gone haywire and just, wow, it looked so cool. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Out of all the ones that they showed off, the one that I'm sort of most looking forward to would be Killing Floor Incursion. Killing Floor Incursion looks pretty sick. It is also co-op. They didn't say whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4 players like the original, but 4-player co-op in that, if it is like the original, would be immense. One thing though, they didn't show whether these things are just teleporting, gallery shooters, teleporting and locomotion, or like I say, just wave shooters. So they really kept that quite secret. We didn't see any form of movement in the first 3 shooters, the big games that they showed. So
no, I think
really
for the most part,
interesting to see what they're doing there.
I think a lot of it is going to be, the standing wave shooter, format. I'm really looking forward to a time when we, get away from that. I think that it's especially with touch coming out and the fact that, and I've kind of harped on this before, that it has actual analog sticks. So it should be, a no-brainer to include traditional movement options in there.
So we got a question come in from Reckoner VR. I know GameHard's monitoring this too. So question, will you Rift guys think you'll be purchasing a 3rd camera for room scale, or just be risking it with the 2 cameras first?
That would depend entirely on when they give us proper sort of information on distances that the trackers cover and width of the angle that they cover. We need proper sort of information from Oculus to make a comment on that, really.
Now, I've got to say, I don't have a huge room that I'm set up in. I'm set up in a small living room area. With just the headset itself, I can do room scale with 1 camera. Now, obviously, the extra cameras are going to be for the occlusion of the controllers. So, I think it's going to depend on your play space. I really do.
Absolutely. Now, to answer the question, though, if we will think, or if we think we will be buying a 3rd additional camera, and frankly, to be honest, yes, I do think I will try to, in the future, try to obtain a 3rd camera just to really get a really spot-on room scale. Now, they did say you will have a pretty nice room scale of 360 degrees tracking with only 2 cameras, and a 3rd camera, I mean, might be a little overkill. 4 cameras, I don't know, but I think it's cool that we have the options to do it, nonetheless.
Well, if I get around to building a dedicated VR room, I will, and it may be overkill, but I will go for 4 cameras, 1 for each corner of the room, tilting down. That should give you perfect coverage, no matter what the situation
is. What's the CPU utilization like on those? It's quite low, apparently, isn't it?
It is,
That's what I understand.
And I mean, it's even the bandwidth with the new ASW has been reduced. Like they're saying now that you can even plug the trackers into a USB 2 instead of USB 3. So I mean, it depends. I think it's really going to depend on your personal choice and your personal setup. Now, I know our good buddy Caleb has shown time and time again on his channel that you can do perfect room scale with the Oculus Touch using 2 cameras.
Yep. Yep. Caleb's done that plenty already.
Yeah. So I think 2 cameras are going to be just fine. I think Sucker of the Year just said, I think 2 cams will be fine. And I do as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it comes from when Brennan Uribe was on stage and he says 2 for 360, 3 for room scale.
So what we should basically just sum it up to and say that just go ahead and order your Oculus Touch and set it up with 2 cameras and just have a feel for it and just hold on with the 3rd camera. And if you really feel like you need to invest in additional $80, you should think about it then, because you will be probably having a lot of fun with just 2 cameras set up.
You know what? I mean, I've got to add to that, because we were talking about this earlier. What is room scale? Because right now, if you look at all the games that we're playing on Vive, they are not room scale. They are 360 spinning on the spot, standing experiences.
Yeah.
And in reality, there's only about 2 or 3 games out there that are truly room scale. Right? And so we've got to be careful with that term, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Sorry about that.
I think it's a term that
No,
gets,
I don't mean new. It's just like we hear it so much, don't we?
no,
Like,
yeah, and I think that term is loosely batted around. I mean, it's like anything. It seems these days, as long as you're standing up in VR, people are calling it room scale, and that's not, in my opinion, room
it's
scale.
just not.
No.
The only room scale title I've played is what do you call it? What's it called again?
Gallery.
That one I played the other day.
Not the gallery, but the
Unseen development.
Unseen diplomacy.
Unseen diplomacy. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that is a
Budget
room
cuts
scale game. You know what I mean? That is a room scale game. Budget cuts kind of is a room scale game, right? But yeah, I mean, Unseen Diplomacy is probably the only true room scale game out there, and is the only true room scale game out there. Not many people can play it because they don't have the room scale big enough to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to make that work properly, you need a reasonable area for room scale to work properly. You know.
Well,
I can see, but just quickly, Scarab says, and you're absolutely right, Scarab. The hamster is Ken Block, and believe it or not, that hamster can actually drive better than UKRifter.
That's awesome.
Unbelievable.
But just to put the whole thing together to bed, one thing that I was most excited about is that Oculus actually said room scale. Because for the longest time, there was a lot of people out there going, Oculus is never going to support it. They're never going to officially support room scale. And now you have your answer. I mean,
but don't you think that's down to that public relations nightmare that is, our little chubby VR friend? Because Facebook must be looking at that guy thinking, oh my God, please stop being on camera saying stuff and supporting Trump.
No,
I'm just gonna mock Soccer of the Year real quick because he likes to try it one in the front and one in the back. So you should be careful with saying stuff like that on the internet, man. Come on.
That's yeah, and that was brought up a lot as well too. Is where is Palmer? Where is Palmer? And we'll address the elephant in the room. Yeah, okay, so he did some stupid stuff. It has come out that the reason that Palmer Luckey wasn't at Oculus Connect 3 was he chose not to be there because he didn't want this to be a distraction. And I applaud him for that. It's like, obviously, who didn't do stupid crap when they were 23 years old?
You know what? I don't even care about that. He's allowed to do what the hell he wants. I don't give a crap if he votes bloody Nazi party. You know what I mean?
The thing
it doesn't matter.
I don't get into the whole politics
choice,
thing, but he's a libertarian anyway. He said he's voting for Gary Johnson. He just thought, I don't know what he was thinking. And I
have no idea who Gary Johnson is.
Who cares?
He's the.
I mean, who cares about any of this? What any of it's got to do with VR? I don't know.
Exactly. That
the public feels that they owe him, or they own him or something. They own a bit of Oculus, so they must own this chap.
I guess. What killed me was developers openly coming out on Reddit going, well, we're dropping support for our game and this and that and the other. And I was like, okay, well, good riddance. Because if you're stupid enough not to want to put your game on a platform just because of one individual's actions, that's kind of ridiculous to me.
And on that bombshell, though, gentlemen, our time is just about to come to an end, and I think we should wrap it up really quickly and stick to the 1 hour. So
I've got Citizen Con looming.
Yes,
exactly.
Citizen Con starts in about 4 minutes, so I know we were all interested to watch that. But yeah, good talk, guys. I tell you, man, this was nice. Just hanging out and talking again, and I want to thank everybody for coming into the chat and interacting with us. We are so happy to be back doing this again, and we will see you guys all in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so a little reminder though and thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you actually did enjoy the show, make sure to be back, not this upcoming next week though, because we're going to be doing this every other week now, I presume. So there we have it from the Crazy Viking.
Yeah, I think we agreed every 2 weeks for an hour, so kind of keeps it a little more breezy for all of us. So.
Definitely. And, we'll have time to come up with topics, to, read what's going on in the forum and, get some devs in, get some good quality devs in and that. And, it'll be a good show. Better for it, I think. So,
yeah. Really. Yep.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Thank you so much for watching, though.
I think that does it, guys. So, see ya. Peace.